Okay, Google, stop. Hey. Where are you, everybody? Welcome to Sick Talks number 27. Looks like we got a little dust on the lens there. Trying to make that image a little clearer. Good. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to be joined by William Strobeck, who I know as Bill from our days growing up in Syracuse many years ago. There's Bill, and he's just arriving, and so we'll get him upstage in a second, and we'll get into the discussion. Hope everybody's been well, and the week has treated you nicely so far. It's been a good one for me. Let me see if I can invite Bill up here. I'm waving at him. There's the request, and we're going to be a second. Yo.
What's good? How are you?
Yeah, it's a little choppy, but these things often start out that way.
How come?
Wait, what?
How come they start off choppy?
I don't know. I mean, I think it has to do with like your internet, your phone finding your internet, and then my phone finding my internet and that kind of shit. It always starts off this way. It's always a little weird. I don't know. Sit next to your modem.
So funny that it's mad funny that you sent me that stuff about a couple hours ago, because I didn't even know that this it's about, that we're talking about all the subjects that you came up that you figured out, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, so for everybody watching, the idea.
I thought you wanted I want to just bring on people I know and talk to them. I didn't know, but I did look through it a little bit, but not. I just, of course, looked at the skate shit.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I figured that would be the case. Like, we have basically, like, I do that newsletter, which I'm pinning in the comments right now, and you know, I put it out every week, and then I have a guest come on and talk about. Theoretically, we talk about the newsletter, but really, what we just talk about is just whatever's on our various minds. Like, it's always friends, and it's always people that, you know, I know and admire, and so it's.
I seen you.
You're over in the East Village.
Yep, I'm in the East Village. Yeah, it's good to see you too. Where are you? Are you in upstate right now?
No, we're over in Brooklyn.
All right, cool.
In the city, kids. Yeah. Got to be back in the city.
Back for a minute?
Since September, like I was out of town for the summer basically, but then when the kids started school again, I came back to the city because it just, I don't know. I was going a little stir crazy. Like, you know, from growing up upstate, that the level of cultural conversation is slower up there, and I just found myself kind of going a little nuts. So I
start filming. You start here, and you
energy.
You start here, and then you realize you're fucking.
Exactly. Too many deer. Like by the 15th or 20th deer, you're like, all right, this is enough of this.
This shit is funny,
I mean,
but
it was
that's
nice.
what you do.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually like. It's a funny. I always wondered that about your filmmaking, because like one of the things that you do, you know, has become a signature of yours is lean on in situ footage. You know, oh damn it, sorry, my shit's falling over. You know, footage of the people around the city, right? And you know, the characters that are surrounding the skateboarding, the scenes and the you know, the places that you're in. Did that start because of just like being young with a video camera and sort of being bored, or was that like an aesthetic choice that you got to later?
I mean, in early days of filming, I feel like there were hints of that. There was the main, like Goose was making videos in Syracuse, and when I was like helping him film, and Healy was helping him film, we just wanted to get the trick. Like you didn't, all the other stuff was so hard to get footage back then. People weren't like
Right.
extra good where they landed stuff all the time. It was just kind of the start of people street skating, not street skating, but like early on, like learning stuff on curbs and stuff like that. So it wasn't super advanced,
Right.
but it took so long to film that stuff. But there were hints of that because me and you grew up with such a good, crew of personalities that, yeah, if Kevin did something or Aaron did something, we wanted to film that. And that stuff would make it in the videos, but we
Right.
really we would laugh at that stuff, but really, we really were in completing a video, which took a lot of time then too, as it does now. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
for me, like at a certain point, skateboarding just felt to me like it was getting, everyone was getting good at it. It was, I don't know. It just, there was a time where people could do stuff. There was a time where people could try stuff into the Love Fountain and maybe get once a year or something. And then there was a time where 50 tricks were going into the Love Fountain, and I wasn't there at that time. But the fact that people could just do anything they wanted into it really just blew my mind. Like that, the fact that it was just that everyone just got really good. I don't know if in a way that it just, everything got so advanced that I didn't think skate tricks really did it for me as much. It did it to a certain extent, but I felt like let's focus on how much of these people are characters, you know what I mean? And for me, I was around Dill and Kalis and Gons, and their personalities are what's so striking to them, you know what I mean? Their skating is dope too, and it's the best, but there's times that I think people want to know who these people were, so like when I was when Dill was living on Canal Street, I would film him when he wasn't skating, and it would be, I'd be like, this is gold compared to, there's a lot of people out there that don't understand skating, but if they saw these personalities, these people are interesting to me, So
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because it's like,
and then later on when like Josh and Stevie and Dill and these guys had already been in the industry way before I started filming them, and then when it came down to the line to, I met a crew of kids basically. I think that it was really important to like show all that stuff that I feel like I probably missed out on filming when we were younger, and show like what it's like to be.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like the like when we were younger, we all came together and there was a lot of crazy shit going on, but we never filmed any of it. But imagine if we got to look back and see that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And,
you're talking about like
the
pool hopping and bridge jumping and parties at low lanes and Aaron shitting in the bushes
Water World
and Water
Karen. Waterworld
oh my
was
God.
the shit, but I'm just saying we did film some of that stuff, but it wasn't as it's like this is part of showcasing who these people are, because skateboarding isn't I feel like doing the most justice right now for skating right now, because you see so much skating even just on Instagram. What's so special about it when you get to the point to make a video, if it's really just fully skating,
Right. Yeah.
For me, it's entertaining for me, it's entertaining to see who these people are. I think I think same reason why I like filming and stuff. Like I started to do it to entertain. Like, how do I do this in a way where I have to actually do something a little more than just pointing a fisheye, or I don't know. It's just a way to do something a little different for me, I guess.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, I mean, look, I think it's funny because to me, like every time I see something of yours, I see so many influences because we've known each other for so long. Like we probably met when you were 12 or something like that. I was, 15, something like that. And,
Yeah, and we
so
met when I was
seeing,
like 14 or around 14 or something like that. Yeah, because my mother started dropping me off down at the Everson, and you guys were
right.
already, you had all known each other, and I was just a, little kid that didn't even know you guys. But if you're down at Everson, you meet everyone because there was, 15
Yep.
there at the most.
That's right. That's right. Well, but what I was going to say was, I think like I see every time I see something of yours, I see like snippets of videos that I remember from Everson in the early 90s. I see like snippets that I remember from Philadelphia in the late 90s, after you moved to Philly. I see, obviously, the hustle and bustle of New York, on a
Mm-hmm.
daily basis. And it's, so I love watching your stuff because it's really nostalgic for me, but it is, uh, it's funny because it like, I, I see that the, I don't know what, like it, damn, man, I'm at a loss for words, which, as you will attest, is not usually the case. Yeah, but like the combination of all of those experiences, and I love that. And so I don't imagine you ever doing it any other way. Like it feels like everything you do will always be a kind of a combination of those influences and moments.
Yeah, I even in Philly, I did film other stuff, but it really was like real skate to me. I felt like it was really like we're going to a spot, we know a trick, but there was no Instagram or internet really. So
Right.
when video came out, like something like photosynthesis, there was 3 years of people not seeing these people, or two years of not seeing anyone because they'd been filming for this stuff. And I try to do it in the same way, like that I've talked about so many times, is I don't even want anyone to see it until it comes out, because it's like the modern day version of getting the VHS. And for me,
Oh man.
it'd be questionable that I ordered from Beach Plus because there was no taxes and from Florida, so they would send, and I would only have that video and maybe one other video at my house for a year or something, because nothing
Right.
came out like that. So, there is specialness in the unknowing of things, and people really pick up on it when it comes out, because I feel like people have been waiting to see, the people that I've been filming, and just see what we've been up to. Blessed was 2.5 years, and it was
Wow.
it was a long time, but it was a lot of work, and things didn't come so smooth all the time.
For sure. It's funny. I would just I'm looking on Google right now, trying to find out the name of the address on Pine of the house on Pine Street that you first stayed at. Because I remember my address, or not Pine Street, Baltimore Avenue. My address was 4015 Baltimore, but I'm trying to think of
It
that
was
first house when you came down.
it was
Was it 30?
40
I feel like it was like 3975 or
30
something.
3945 Baltimore Ave, maybe.
Yeah, that seems about right.
39
Wild.
40. That was it. 39 48 or 45. That house,
It
it
would have
was
been an
really,
odd.
it's really funny
Would
to
have been an
talk
odd
about
number.
that, because Ben was the reason why I went to Philly in the first place, because he was the smartest one of all our friends, and ended up going to a good college, and he went to UPenn. So me and everyone drove down in 2 cars, and we went down to Skate Love, and literally you are our way in over there, kind of.
Yeah, well, it's
I
funny,
mean,
man.
definitely. Like, you knew people already, so when we went down there, it was kind of fine for us. And we had a big crew of kids, but
Yeah, I mean the
our
Philly
kids
crew. I mean,
in Syracuse meshed in with the kids there instantly, I feel.
well, so I mean, skateboarding at that point was still so small. Like, you could. Everybody had a lot in common, right? Everybody was sort of sitting on the sidelines of social groups at school, or everybody had stuff that they were trying to get away from at home, or whatever the case was. I mean,
Yeah.
I was very lucky in that regard, that I had a lot of advantages. But but either way, it felt like you were part of a community instantly upon getting there. And the yeah, I mean,
Well,
I
I
think
was
because
like, like I was the
you moved, and then Healy, and then Corey, and then Aaron lived in Philly for a while too, and like,
Aaron
yeah,
and
I mean,
Corey
the whole.
in there, but I met a girl there, and then ended up getting on a bus to live on 59th Street. I like moved basically, even the roommates, they were just kind of like, what? So this guy lives here now, basically. It was pretty like pretty young, and like, we're gonna do what we want. No one's gonna say, what's everyone gonna say? It's really
For sure. But
you know. And then I started going down because I met like Alex Lynn and Hung and all those guys, and they were like the young kids,
Yep.
you know, that were hanging at Love, and I met them, and they just were cool with me. Like, so really, I just kind of, you know, it was that skate shit. It was like going to like the kids over at Tompkins. As soon as you go over there and you get in, you don't want to like miss out ever again. You go there every day. That's who you roll with, you know.
oh, for sure,
And
for sure. Do you still?
So still what?
I'm saying, do you still feel that? Do you still like need to get out to Tompkins every day, or need to get to, I don't know, at Blubba every day or whatever, and just like see what's going on?
I mean, I have like my morning, like, you know, I have like a morning, and then I'm like, all right, let's go. You know, it's like a day not going skating could be the day you miss out on the best thing that you wanted to film. And it's
Right.
I get real, like, you know, filming for a video. I'm like, I have to be out tomorrow. I have to be out any day. It's nice, as much as possible.
Yo, let's real quick. We just got to shout out Joswick because he's in the comments just saying, yo,
Venom Doctor. Anybody
what's up? It's
hit up Instagram 191, man. He's the champ.
yeah, I mean, so Joswick, Instagram's 191, denim genius, denim designer, got his own label. You know, we're not here to plug anybody else, but we are here to plug Sean Joswick because that's the dude.
Yeah, man, I dream of Genie, man. That dude will fix your holes in your pants like no other to make them look brand new again.
Well, he might also just be designing the shit that you're going to buy at the mall next year too. So, you know, I feel like Sean's on a come up, but everybody should be looking for Sean Joswick. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Joswick,
let me hit you
like,
you know, Jim Bellinger hit me up nowhere today.
What, really?
Saying, he's like, hey, what's up? Do you remember me? I used to drive the gray Volkswagen. I was like, dude, I fucking remember you. Like, I just hit him back.
Dude,
like, of course I remember
funny.
you. So he's like, follow me. I was like, I followed him. It's so funny. Mad blast from the past, but that was dope.
That's crazy. You gotta join the like EVS poker game, Bill. And there's a lot of shit talking that goes on.
I heard about that. I mean, when we did that, when we had that one Zoom thing for Sean's birthday, that was fun as fuck. It was skip a beat, man. Put all the old timers in the old folks home, and they're still fucking having fun together, man. This shit is funny.
Oh, for sure.
No,
well,
it was like we all hadn't seen each other in mad long, and then it was like you put us back there, and we're like all hanging out together, like exactly how, like Corey and Aaron were the center of attention. Everyone's fucking, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Basically, like going, you know what I mean? Like that we're trying to capture is like what Corey and Aaron do, and basically that type of shit.
But I feel like, well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that kind of camaraderie that we had at Everson and Syracuse, you know, in the mid '90s, is the same kind of, like, you have captured scenes like that throughout, right? Whether it's, you know, Papalardo and Wenning, or you know, obviously the Alien Crew, the Supreme guys, you know, who are now like the Supreme dudes, but who were the Supreme kids, you know, going into Cherry. You know, the San Francisco guys in GX and all that kind of stuff last year or 2 years ago, whenever that was. Like, how do you find yourself in the middle of those things? Is it like one person becomes the sort of conduit in, or is it that you see a group of kids together, not, and it doesn't have to be kids obviously, but it's like a group of people together and you just go, okay, the energy with those people is attractive, or like, how does that work?
You could say this probably about when World was there, or like Girl started. It's that energy that that energy is needed. And seriously, like people want to know who these people are, I think, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's didn't know who people were, though, you know what I mean? Also, like, some, like, you know, a couple artists said, like, I didn't know who Fred was, and I don't want to necessarily know everything about him, because I might not like him if I knew everything about him, but the energy that I feel like that I'm capturing and is really, I think, powerful energy, and people, you know, for a brand like Supreme or any other brand, like, people wear the clothes because they want to be like these kids, you know. That's, you know, that's a given. But well, this was happening. Everyone grows up so fast that I think that that, you know, to have that all on film, like, for, you know, these guys, for them later is amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's gonna be.
I think about when I was younger. I'm like, damn, imagine if you can revisit that, but you can't. You know, you just, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be amazing for them later. And the other thing too is, it's like, you know, you watch guys like Kalis out there killing it, Stevie back on the board recently killing it. I mean, Tony Hawk at 50 plus, right? Chris Miller destroying, like, you start to think like those kids who you capture in their teen years are gonna be friends and are gonna be connected to one another for the next 3 decades, are gonna be skating, and you know, like, to have that document at that time, it's gonna be really, really great.
Yeah, but also, like, I mean, we don't all see each other, but every now and then we see each other. We walk down the street, I'll see you, I'll say what's up. Who's to know if everyone's going to be super close later on? This is a time period where it's captured when they were, though, you know what I mean? It's like, you never know. Like, I was really close to, you know, close friends with, you know, Wenning and Pappalardo, and I don't see them that much. Every now and then they reach out, but I mean, I rolled with them nonstop, you know. And
right.
same with Josh, you know, and every now and then I'll talk to Josh on the phone or on Zoom or something, but it's I don't see him, you know what I mean? I saw him every single day when I lived in Philly.
Yeah, I got you. Well, it is funny though, you know, you talk about these documents. I put in the newsletter a photo. Did you see the photo of me from 1989 in the newsletter?
I did see the photo of the kids holding the board.
So that was Dave Hunter, who ran Syracuse's first skate shop, Salt City Skates, and then Corey Tonelli, who was, you know, I think arguably the best skater in Syracuse at the time. John Cannon might have, you know, something to say about that, because John was always very good at that time too. But either way, those guys, and it was from a newspaper story about how skateboarding was illegal in '89. And Corey found it on eBay, or somebody found it for Corey on eBay and sent it to him. And I just thought that was the funniest thing. It's like, you're the way the past bubbles up in strange ways, or from strange places.
So crazy. Syracuse is the Salt City. I never even knew that when I lived. You know what I mean? It's something that I came across not too long ago. Actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's Syracuse was a wealthy city because of two things: because of the Erie Canal and because of salt.
Yeah.
And, that you go out to the Salt Museum. You remember the Salt Museum in Liverpool? Go out there, school trip.
I don't think we did. I don't think we might have not had the budget like at school.
Oh, come on, man! I was public schools in Syracuse. Well, anyway, Bill.
I did see the one of the things you had posted was how it's really hard to get product right now in the skate industry.
Oh yeah, the Jenkem article about the skate drought. Yeah.
I know about that. I know about that because, you know, I know that boards are super hard to get for companies, and
they're you know, because the wood supply that are working, there's not as many people, so it's hard for companies to have like a flow of boards coming in. So it's like very like these guys get it this month, these guys get it, you know what I mean? It really depends, but you know, some companies might have it better, but a lot of like not huge companies are probably having a little more problems. Like they might not get it so frequently, which is crazy. But that's another thing is boards are selling like hotcakes right now because of that. People, I feel like, 2 or 3 boards at once. They just, you know, that they have them if something happens, you know. So skate shops are doing really good for what I know. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's funny, like the skate drought, which is what the Jenkem article was talking about, was basically right. The inability to get certain key parts. And I know from my standpoint, like I went to go buy a pair of set of cruiser wheels for my daughter for her board, and had to go to like 3 shops and couldn't get them, and you know couldn't end up buying them from the shop that I wanted to support the most because they just didn't have them. They're like, yeah, we might get cruisers in someday, but we don't really know when. So, you know, little personal story. But I guess, you know, as they say, it's sort of a good problem to have, right? You would rather be sold out of stuff because you sold through it rather than, you know, be sitting on inventory and not being able to sell it.
I mean, it's good for shops, but you know, I seen a friend of mine that has a shop.
Also, you see Brennan. Sorry, you see Brennan in the comments here saying Kevin Griffin is buying them all, because that might actually be true.
That is fucking. He's definitely buying all the old.
How many boards? Like that guy. God, Kev.
He's got a skate shop. I told him to move to Syracuse and start a skate shop. He's tripping. He's already like went back there and he's already like homies with all the kids that were like skating down there again. Like that guy's in his element. If he's at Everson and the kids are fucking loving him, dude. He's like a fucking pig and shit, dude. But
damn, dude.
Yeah. What's that?
No, nothing.
Sorry,
and then
it kind of breaks up a little bit here and there, so I'm like kind of just keeping up with it. But.
Yeah, no, it's the same. You know, the funny thing is that Instagram will probably go through and patch this after the fact.
Yeah.
So people who are watching it later, it'll be perfect. But then people who are watching it now, it's a little janky. But that's all right. So Bill, I mean, have you been in New York the whole time for the pandemic, or you've been moving around a little bit, like little trips to Philly and up to Syracuse, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've been going to Philly. I've been going to DC. We went to Baltimore. We're still like keeping up with doing stuff. You know, we're working a lot as much as we can and still being safe but yeah, we're not slowing down. It seems to be we seem to be working more. You know, so
I got it.
We're just staying as safe as possible. You know, skaters, man, they're skaters don't like go by the rules, man. You know what I mean? They're just like skating, mask, like whatever. But it's been pretty fucking good though, and we've been getting a lot of really cool shit on video and stuff. You know, not on film, on video.
And it feel, I mean, there's a bunch of new faces as well, like, you know, kids that feel like are popping up in New York or have come to New York and are starting to become the sort of the personality as well, which is cool. I like seeing that, you know, constant reminder that, you know, the kids are always coming up. The kids are always, you know,
dude, fucking skating is going nuts right now, man. It's like there's skateboarding is all over fucking Instagram every day. Kids are going skating. Like a lot of people are staying in their house and taking, you know, like it seems like skateboarding just like, fuck, this is the time. And I think, you know, around when I was taking super serious in early March of last year, like that was probably like prime, you know, because businesses were like fucking like buildings and stuff, people were scared, you know, so you could just go skate things that weren't skatable, you know, that or a security guard wouldn't come out because no one knew what to expect, I think, early last year. But now it's kind of like, it's not, you know, you can move a little more frequent. I think New York's doing really good. as opposed to like LA and stuff. Even though I see everyone skating out there, from what I hear, it's been pretty bad out there. So,
Right.
but I haven't traveled at all really, except for taking a car to Philly or to DC, or this shit's been fun, man. I've been enjoying the East Coast, man. This shit is super sick right now.
Well, I mean, to that end, did you ever live out west, or have you just like traveled out there and sort of
No,
stayed
I've stayed
extended
out there
periods?
like in SF from on and off for 8 months doing Candyland, and LA. I would just go
Right.
stay out there. I fortunately for me, like I can go and stay places for a while, and like, you know what I mean? Like in
Yeah.
the early 2000s, it was Barcelona. Me and Dill would do 2 months in a hotel room, hotel rooms in Barcelona. It's like, it's just so crazy to look back. Like, oh yeah, for 3 months we stayed in a hotel basically that was paying for. It's just
Well, I
crazy.
mean,
To think about that shit is wild.
the thing that's crazy to me about that is at least where I'm at in my life, the idea of sharing a room in a hotel with somebody for 3 months is like such a non-starter. It's like, yeah, no,
I mean,
I
I
need my
didn't even
space.
have that trip. I didn't even have to share the hotel room. I had my own hotel room.
Oh, all right, all right, all right. Let me. I've cast aspersions. I've made assumptions.
But
My
but
bad.
but yeah, it was like Dill and like Abe wanted to share the room together or something. But then Dill ended up getting his own room at some point, so everyone had their own room. It was really, I don't know, funny ass times. But that's what I'm saying. Is like Barcelona was such a thing back then that we were there for so many
Yeah.
months, so many times. It was super fun. But then I haven't been to
Where's
Barcelona
the
since then.
what's the next city like that? Is it, I mean, I can imagine someplace in like Baku in Azerbaijan having a bunch of really dope spots and being the place that people show up at. Does it feel like there's a movement like that, has the world, has
I
skateboarding just
think
globalized in a way that there's
I
just
think
everybody everywhere?
from what I see, Barcelona is still going off, and that type that Plaza Macba is still like a big thing. It's obvious.
Yeah.
I can't think where other places are right now, but in the States, like Philly's popping off, Pulaski's popping off in DC. He's got Municipal, this fucking sick kids that are there. They have like such a interesting crew. It's the best. I don't know. I think Philly's
Yeah.
got something really special right now.
Yeah.
Like
Municipal
New
is
York,
really,
it's like in New York there's like 10 crews, you know what I mean? That different crews that don't really hang out with each other, maybe say what's up when they, but it's like there's heads for mad different crews, so they all roll together, and it's like so many, the personalities are all, and I don't know, there's something special going on in Philly right now. That's why I think it's sick to go up there and kick it. Municipal's a big part of it. You have a plaza like that. It's so crazy to think of Municipal, Love, and City Hall all across from each other in a half step across the street to each of them at any time. There's no place that is unreal. To look on it now,
right?
You did at the time. You took it for granted because it was just like what if you're living there, and that was, looking back on how to not have Love and to not have City Hall, it's like, oh my God, I mean, all the kids now, I mean, those two spots in particular were like, you got to go there so you would understand, but that was crazy.
Yeah. Well,
no one
the
really
funny
even
thing,
went to
the interesting thing
much.
Yeah, no, it was not until they put I mean, I remember Freddie had a couple lines in the Sub-Zero video on the benches, and like the bench up the, like, I don't know, ollie up the bench and then he'll flip over the trash can or whatever. But but yeah, municipal was not a big thing until they put the sculptures in probably 97, and it started a little bit there. I remember like riding through there and wallying off the domino and stuff, or off the little iron.
Yeah.
But you know, the funny thing to me is I was on a Clubhouse call with that Stevie was on the other day or the other week, and I was talking about meeting him for the first time.
Cool.
I met him at Rat Curbs. I don't know if you remember Rat Curbs, which were down by
I remember
like Old City,
down by the water. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was funny because it was like when I came to Philly to look at colleges, and I brought my skateboard down and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna look at colleges for a minute and then I'm gonna go skateboarding. The people sent me to Rat Curves. They were like, that's the place to go. Like nobody sent me to Love, and it was really interesting also to be there at the, you know, effectively what was the beginning of Love. Like I was there after Roger Brown and those guys, but
yeah,
you know, to think like that incredible sort of skateboard, you know, environment that you had between Love, City Hall, and Municipal existed, and yet people were like, no, go to Rat Curbs because it's closer to South Street, or you know, whatever the situation was. So it's also funny because people like discover these things over the course of time.
Well, that's what I felt was pretty interesting, and what I'm sure, you know, with Rick and Serge and those guys, they probably were like, this play, you know, Love's gotten a lot of coverage and there's starting to be a lot more people down there, and we want this to feel like it's ours. So those guys started journeying off, you know, and that's really in their head. They were probably like, we're going to do our own thing. You know, that was kind of like, it feels like how Rick's personality is, you know, like we're doing it something different. We're not going to go to Love every day. But I love all
do you feel like
I love all their footage that they had at Love, those guys, you know, even in the video, you know.
Oh, I mean, Ricky at Love, ridiculous. It's like that, the ollie up the ledge, out ollie over the sidewalk into traffic. It's just like, what are you doing, dude? Just bananas.
That's when you feel like you're the fucking, you're running shit. You can jump in front, you can ollie out of a car, and they're gonna stop. You just,
they are gonna stop. They see you and they're gonna stop.
Yeah, I love that footage. He also ollied. He also ollied 2 cans too. That like before anyone, I think, really skated that. And Josh ended up back in it, which is one of the things that I filmed. I actually poached it. Kids nowadays poach no matter what, and you're just like, dude, there's no rules anymore, man. It's pretty interesting.
What you're saying that like some kid will just be sitting down at a spot while you're filming with a phone, and you've got something you want to keep on. You want to keep it on deck for a video, but then
it's an interesting time. That's all. You gotta roll with the punches. I mean, because everyone has phones and stuff. And then somebody will be like, well, I won't post it until the video comes out. And then you're like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But then again, they go home and like showing everyone they know the clip on their phone, before they see it in the video. So it's like, oh, when it comes out in the video, like, oh, I saw that already.
So how do you do that then? I mean, you either have to trust people or you have to like lock down with like a skate bubble and just go around with the bubble. Eh?
You just pinky swear and just call it a day.
Fair enough.
It's like you just, people usually don't. You know what I mean? I think
Bill,
I think the dudes are equally excited when the video drops than to just kind of like, It's like as soon as one person does it, then everyone thinks they can do it. That's how life is right now. Oh, I got away with it. Oh, they didn't mind. All right, well, we can all do it now. That's what I think everything in general seems. I mean, especially with Instagram and the internet.
Right. Well, but that also it underscores the reason, getting back to the first thing we talked about, which is why you have to have your own point of view, your own voice, your own way of approaching things, because otherwise you're going to end up, looking and feeling like everybody else does, which is, the A, doesn't add to the discourse, and B, just makes you look like kind of an also ran. And that's the thing about you, Bill.
I think they're like youngsters are like a form of rebellion too. It's like no one's gonna tell me what to do, and I was the same way too. You know what I mean? It's like it's you only probably notice that later on when you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have, that was whack. But when you're like 18 to 20, you're gonna say like, dude, I'm doing what I want. Like, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? That's how it always felt.
Yeah.
Really. So you want to rebel against. It's like your parents saying, fucking, you can't like go out tonight. You got to stay in your room. It's like, if I can say fuck you, I'll hop out the window and go. No one's gonna tell me, that's some. It's like you started skating because you didn't want anyone to tell you what to do. Especially in our time, it was just like you didn't want to be like everyone else, and you didn't want anyone telling you what to do. So it's like, saying no, I'm gonna.
Well, it is funny though, Bill, because I think the way you make your films, like it is a little bit to me, and I think this is one of the things I've always loved about skateboarding, period, is that you watch it and you get the sense like I can do that. Like I know how to, I have enough tools at my fingertips that I could probably do something like that. And if I practice, I can get better at it. And there's somebody in the comments a minute ago saying that they wouldn't have started filming if it weren't for you. And I think you probably must have inspired a lot of people to pick up a camera and get out and do it, which has got to be a cool feeling, notwithstanding the fact that they now are sitting at the spot, maybe poaching a trick or two as they go.
I'm just saying it's very frequent that something like that can happen. I mean, when Tyshawn ollied the train station, for example, there was, when he ollied over the the where you go down in the train station to cover a Thrasher.
Yeah.
There was so many people on that street corner that weren't even with us there was 70 people on that corner because it was Midtown midday. It was a working day. And you can't tell everyone. That's like we have 12 dudes there. One was down in the subway. There were some on the corner. Some kids stopped that were biking around, some city kids, and they were like, what can we do to help? Like, we'll stop this car from turning left. We'll stand in the street. The car there's a line down the block of cars because they wouldn't let them make the right, and the dude's like, and it's like, TJ, go, go, go. And like, that energy, it's like fucking crazy because you're like, you're stopping these people from getting on and off the subway, and you're stopping cars, and people are getting pissed, but then people also, random pedestrians are like stopping people for you too. Like it's crazy, but there's also, everyone has a camera, so you can't stop the 70 people from like, hey, put it away. And like TJ would be like, yo, I'm not gonna do it until you put your camera away. Like he'll stand there and wait, and after 3 minutes, somebody like, all right, they're definitely not gonna go. Meanwhile, as soon as he puts it away, he'll get ready again. But there's been there was mention during that with people and stuff, but so a week later, it was posted on Instagram. It was posted on Instagram with on some dude's thing that he had like 50 followers or something, but it was like, man, we don't, and it tagged TJ. So if you looked up TJ's tags, you would see it, and it was just like, fuck, man, we take this down, like, and it gets real. It gets real tricky. You didn't want anyone to see it, kind of thing.
So I want to know then, I mean, all of this leads me to wonder, like, okay, at a certain point, you as a filmmaker, you just got to be like, okay, I'm too old for this shit. I need to lock down a production environment which I can control. So when is the Bill Strobeck scripted feature film coming? When do we see you make a jump to?
Aaron May trying to push me to do it super bad. He's like, I'm calling you every week until you start doing it. You gotta, And I'm like, oh yeah, give me a call. And then I'm like, just like, is he gonna call me this week? Because I've done nothing. Kind of like how you sent me and I hardly looked at it. It's just like, I don't know, I gotta feel it. I gotta understand.
By the way.
What?
No, sorry, Bill. I was just gonna say Pia is making tons of noise in the comments, so I just want to shout out to Pia. Okay, so
what's up,
that means then like script in 2021, pre-pro late 21, production 22, in theaters / on HBO Max 2023.
Do people go
Next-
to theaters anymore? That's one reason not to make a movie. If you can't go to the theater.
Well, but I mean, by the same token, you go to the theater and see it at HBO on HBO Max in the same day, like best of both worlds, right? The cinephiles get in and they get an uncrowded theater, and the people that don't want to leave their house, they get it at home.
That doesn't sound as fun. What about a drive-through? Those things are coming back pretty hot.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, yeah, and you're like
watch the Bee Gees documentary.
No, I haven't. I've been
Speaking of it,
I haven't seen it.
All right. Oh shit! Yeah, I watched.
It's good.
I felt like the first quarter was like teetering, and then it got real good. Like it got like good. Like worked on it super hard. But I was up visiting my mother for the holidays, and I ordered HBO Max for a month just to cancel it after we watched it, just so we could watch it.
I'm saying. I mean, I think go ahead.
She's just not savvy with the TV thing, so I was just like, oh, let me order it. We'll pay for the month subscription, and then we'll cancel it before you have to pay again. Right. Yeah. She fell asleep like twice, so.
they spent too long in the country and western period and like didn't get enough.
Well, the Bee Gees early period, they were like kind of like Beatles a little bit. So that part was kind of like, you know, whatever. But when it got into like, of course, when it gets into like Saturday Night Fever and stuff like that, you're like, it's on. You know, it's like Kevin would love that shit.
He would indeed. He would indeed. It's funny because Stephanie is saying she's literally watching the documentary right now. So I don't know how she's listening to us and watching the documentary, but Stephanie, shout out. Hope you're well. Bill, what? So speaking of,
did you get a pair yet, or what?
Like,
get a pair yet, or what?
Oh no, dude. By the way, I don't know if you know John Wexler, who used to be Yeezy's dude at Adidas and who's a friend of mine, but no. There's a whole story about it, but I helped with that relationship, let's say, and Wex has never sent me anything. And of course, I made a resolution at the beginning of 2020 that I wasn't going to buy any more new clothes. I wasn't going to buy any clothes or sneakers for the rest of the decade. So I can't buy anything new until 2030. So somebody's got to send it to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to me is somebody sent, I asked for them because I was like, I got to try those things. I just got to see what they feel like. They're like ridiculously comfortable though.
Yeah.
They're wild as fuck. I mean, but they're just like one of those things you're just like, you put them on and it's like walking on air. It's like, I don't know.
That was I was surprised. I have to say, Bill, I was surprised to see them show up you because your style has been so sort of like simple and straightforward, right? It's Chucks or it's, simple Vans or it's, like all that kind of stuff. And so when I saw you in the space shoes, I was like, whoa, COVID's working over here.
To the little fire, man. It's like,
yeah.
I was like, those things are so fucking crazy. Please send them to me. And Adidas sent them to me. And I was like, I don't know. I was just like, these are so wild. Why not? It was funny. I was wearing them around upstate and I was wearing them around my mother and she was like, those are really crazy. I was like, put them on and I took a photo of her, but she was like, what the fuck are these things? Basically, I mean, without saying that, but I don't know. It was kind of fun.
I thought you were
going
to say you went. Oh, for sure. I thought you were going to say you went to Carousel with them, and we were just walking around Carousel eating caramel corn.
I actually did go to. It's called Dynasty now, but I did go to Carousel, and
it's always called Carousel.
Masked up, but I went and bought Christmas presents and there was mad heads running around, just having fun. It wasn't not packed. There was definitely people there. And Syracuse, Syracuse, Onondaga County has been getting COVID pretty frequent. It's not
Yeah,
slow up
we
there.
went up. We went up to see my grandmother through a window. Like, didn't get close to her, but like she sat inside her apartment, 6 feet from a window, and then we sat outside the apartment 6 feet from a window, and got to talk to her. But we stopped by the mall too, and so I got to see it. I revisited our ancestral stomping grounds where we would stalk the hallways in our blind jeans and our half cabs and our oversized rugby shirts in 1993.
I'll tell you something that I don't know if you remember, but I definitely remember this, and I actually thought about mentioning this to you. When 36 Chambers came out, the Wu-Tang album,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
the cassette came out at the mall, at like the Wall in Penn Mall. I had my mother driving me over there. I skipped school because I knew it was going out. I knew it was coming out, so I skipped school that day. My mother drove me to the mall to get it. She had to come in the mall and buy it because it was parental advisory. And I remember going back to
That's so
listening
funny.
to it, but I remember bringing it down to Everson and telling you guys that I had it. And I remember you specifically being like, put it in, like I want to listen to it right now. And it was nighttime at Everson, but I remember you being like super hyped, and I remember how much of a weight. I remember how much of a weight that was to get that album, because they were playing the Method Man track, the video on the box over and over and over on the box.
Yep.
Remember the box? And
Of course, yeah.
of chess boxing. They were playing those over and over, and it was like, what is this? This is fucking sick. And I remember getting the single and then seeing that it was coming out at a certain date there, and my mother let me skip school to get it. If my mother didn't let me do shit like that, I don't think that I would make the shit that you know what I mean? She was just like, kind of like, let me do whatever,
Yeah. Well, because records in those days came out on Tuesdays, so that was skipping school on a Tuesday, so that she could go to Penn Mall to the cassette outlet and buy you the Wu-Tang Clan record. That's
100%.
pretty epic. That's 94 in a nutshell right there, in a lot of respects.
94.
No, I remember that that was the year that I took off after, because I graduated high school in 93, and then I took that year off, and I was working for year-round Syracuse at that time, that volunteer program, and we played the Wu-Tang cassette in the team van a lot, but I don't remember that moment at Everson. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's super cool. Because
I remember
you're right. It was like Method Man. The Method Man video was on the box. Yeah.
The box was
we got into my mother.
I was talking.
We probably got into like. Oh, go ahead.
I was talking to Lee Smith probably like, I don't know, like a year ago. We were actually, I think, at Peter Beasley's birthday party. No, maybe it's 2 years ago, but I was talking to him because he was working at MTV, and I was like, come on, what's up? Now's the time to bring back music. Like, you guys could do it, in a certain way that, because there's so many indie musicians and people make music videos and shit. I don't see why they couldn't just, enough of the real world and fucking all that shit. Even fuck ratings, dude.
Right.
Like, why not make life sick? You know what I mean? It's like,
well, but
ratings.
the flip to that is like, Vivo, for instance, launched a music video channel that's all just music videos. So it's like watching MTV in 1984 before any of that original programming stuff came out. It's just music, right? And then the kids are just they just watch music videos on YouTube, or they just listen to music on video on YouTube. You know what I mean? So I feel you, but I don't know that it's necessary for MTV to do it. I think other people are doing it.
I think other people are doing it, but I think just based off what it was, it's like they did so much other shit. MTV News, all those like little things that came along with, they did their own commercials.
Yep.
I thought that was real special. No one talks about MTV right now, ever. At least I don't hear it.
No.
So
no. It's moved. Look, it's totally moved on. But I mean, I think that's the thing, right? Like, that's the thing that's been really interesting about being close to skateboarding. In fact, is like the brands that were big in when MTV was big, and brands that were important when MTV was important are still big and important now, right? Like Spitfire, for instance.
because
Talk about your avatar, right?
what's popular, what gives ratings, even the news is ratings, everything's ratings. Fuck a rating, dude. It's like that's how people get paid, but like look at all the fucking top huge douchebags that are getting paid for it. Like how do you get that out of there? You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I don't know. I come from like a lower standard, but in general I feel like that shit was all very personality based. Kids watched it. Kids learned how to find who they were through shit like that, not through
Right.
like their family. They watch. I mean, kids can just scroll through the Instagram and see is everything now. But I mean, I guess that's. I mean, I guess I don't need to. I don't know. I don't understand. I think I'm too old to understand what kids are like, really what they think about, what's going on these days,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard to
Well, it's funny.
explain,
It's like
but
my
like, I'm involved
no,
with like
I
trying.
don't think it's hard to explain at all.
It's like kids, yeah, like even like hip hop and shit right now. It's like TJ knows every fucking new dude, every dude that's coming up. I'll tell you, this guy's gonna be the next, and they end up doing like he knows like how I would have known when Wu-Tang was coming out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I,
Yeah,
I
but
guess I don't.
it's funny. Like I tell people all the time. My daughter, who's 11, talks to her friends on Roblox, which is a video game, and people are like, "What do you mean she talks to her friends on Roblox?" I'm like, "No, that's like her communication platform." Right?
Yeah,
Most adults, most people I tell that to who don't have kids around her age are like, what is that? They literally don't even know what it is. But something like 3/4 of American kids are on it. So,
yeah,
it's just that these things exist at a level of sort of, I don't know what, like they exist below the frequency that you're at. And so you just have to be like, okay, I'm going to capture and appreciate the frequency I'm on. And then I got to
yeah,
surround myself with people who know what the other frequencies are so that I know what's up.
yeah. It's wild. Sean McGowan just said, "What's up? What's up, Sean?"
Oh, what's
Yeah,
up,
man.
Sean?
Yeah.
Nice to see the coming through. So, Bill, listen, I try to keep these conversations to an hour, and we're coming up on kind of the last couple of minutes. Any sort of next projects or any words of wisdom or anything like that you want to close with? Because this has been an amazing catch up, which I expected, but I
Yeah.
also don't want to
Yeah.
leave your public wanting.
I've in the works. I think we're staying at a steady pace. It's not going to be out for a while, so if everyone thinks it's coming out in the next few months, you're going to have to watch other videos that are coming out. It's just we got some shit in the works, and we're going to take our time with it, And I mean, everything's been a little slower too. We got the new season coming out too, so we're going to be working on a lot of stuff for that, as well as doing
Right.
something like in the near future. But yeah, it's going to take a minute, I guess. So
Cool.
slow
Well,
and
Bill, I'm gonna join the chorus of weekly reminders for you to work on a feature or some other project besides Escape Film. So I want to see you spread your wings there, and then I would you got to keep on me about the museum proposal, because we got to get that going as well
for
in
sure.
in 2021.
I'll be that's something I really really fucking would be stoked to work with you and get that going, because that's like I think that's so sick.
Yeah, no. We got to make that happen. All right. Well, so we'll talk about that in our next conversation. But meantime, dude, great to see you. Thank you for doing this
Yep.
for me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for shouting me out. This has been fun, and keep in touch with me.
All right, man, I will do. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, everybody. This has been Sick Talks with William Strobeck. I'm back again next week, and Bill is on Instagram and everywhere. Follow him and keep up. All right, Bill. Easy, man.
Peace out. Later.
All right, dude. Bye.